Hi, Matt Noyes, 1 degree outside insights, where we do a little bit deeper dive on the meteorology of what got us to where we are and where we're going in the days ahead. In this case, we're going to look out all the way to the start of the weekend. But let's start with what we just experienced, right? This was kind of quintessential New England Memorial Day weekend weather, which is you get some good days and you're guaranteed almost, it seems, every year to get at least one day of cool showers. Well, that turned into downpours for some of us. In fact, you can see the rainfall totals in western Massachusetts. Some of us crossed 2 inches of rain, did the same thing in parts of Connecticut. Look, a lot of you trying to get the garden started, getting some grass seed down. Nice to get the water, certainly, and at the same time, the next couple of days will bring at least some sunshine for those plants as well. What we have now is a storm area that's kind of making its way up to our north, what we call an occluded front that came through. That's when a cold front catches up to the warm front. So what you do is you mix the cool and warm air together, and oftentimes occluded air tends to be mild air. And that's why we think that today, Tuesday, is going to be the mildest of this week, with temperatures crossing 80 in a number of spots. There is still a jet stream trough. We'll talk more about the jet stream and how it shapes up in the next 2 weeks coming up in pattern predictions, which we'll post to the 1degreeoutside.com homepage coming up in just a little bit. But bottom line, it allows for disturbances at least to drop in from time to time. Today's disturbances mostly produce a scattered shower in northern or western New England, points north and west. You might get an isolated one in eastern New England, but that'd be very few and far between. Even tomorrow starts out pretty good, a blend of sun and clouds. Here's the map at midday, but the clouds will build over the course of our Wednesday with those disturbances dropping into the jet stream trough. And what that means is as the clouds build, notice by the end of Wednesday, there may be a little scattered showers that pop up. In fact, we think there will be pretty much anytime during the afternoon to early evening hours, and particularly in the southern half of New England. There'll be a sea breeze for your Wednesday too. The wind starts out of the northwest, then becomes variable. The sea breeze kicks up, may go southwesterly as we get toward evening, but notice the impact on temperatures. Definitely cooler near the coast than you will be inland, and everybody is cooler than we were on Tuesday, no surpassing 80 degrees. We get to Thursday, and actually another lobe of energy drops into the jet stream level, but this develops a little weak storm center. And that's going to be developing right along the coastline. And what that'll do is keep a northerly wind and even a northeasterly wind off the ocean. That feeds some of the rain off and on Thursday, particularly for the southern half of New England. You can see in green. The other thing it does is it keeps the temperature down. Look how cool it is on Thursday. I think even something like mid-60s may be kind of real optimistic for Boston. You'll see in the pattern predictions, I'm thinking right in the city, you're ending up low 60s at best with a wind that'll be off the ocean for us. Now, it does clean up for Friday. Friday, I can't rule out an isolated shower in the afternoon with some fair weather clouds, but mostly it's a pretty good day for us. Notice the temperatures in the 70s. This is pretty close to where we should be, just slightly below normal for this time of the year. Start of the weekend looks good right now. We think one disturbance Sunday brings a low chance for a passing shower, but Saturday, which you're looking at here, looks pretty decent. Notice the temperature starting to rebound, come back up toward 80 degrees or so. So that's the way things look in terms of the next, let's say, 4 days of weather. If you ever want to see that 14-day forecast, not only the pattern predictions I got coming out later today for the next 2 weeks, but for your location, of course, that's what our app's for, right? Make sure you search Noyes' 1 Degree Outside Weather Network. In the meantime, I hope you make it a great day.